Most books do not make money. Therefore, you have to think that could somebody check the Zoom where it says live the content meeting is being sent to a third party, please? Um, then from there, um, we have to, figure out what is the strategy. Do you want to make money or do you want visibility? Do you want to build expertise? These are the questions you have to ask yourself when you're using the time blazer. The time blazer can provide you many, many avenues to get your answer, but you have to ask the right question. So that's not very clear to me, but let's just say she wants to launch it for visibility. I'm going to go for there because that's what most people in I would say in this room most likely are probably publishing books for, is to get more visibility. Okay. So then from there, what we would do is we would look in the time blazer, and in the time blazer, I would select success. I would look to all the success days, and I would be submitting everything that I could on every success day that would be possible, if you will. And then I would choose if that was not available to me, then I would choose probably a stable day because you want your book to have stability. You don't want to here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. So you would want to do that. But if you do want to have money from it, you could choose a success day or you could choose one of your wealth days. That's how I would be looking at it. All right, she said, starting a new relationship, curious to see how the animals and elements get along. I don't have his chart, so I really can't look at that because I don't know what that is. But I can read in her chart how she typically relates to relationships. And you look at the day of birth. The person that is always asking the question will be on top. And this person is a Yangwood person. The animal on the bottom is a monkey. So when you think about the 5-element group here, the wood is chopped by the metal. So the boyfriend or girlfriend, if she's with I'm not sure the gender here, but the partner, I'm just going to say, the partner can be a little bit stronger and can feel like to her controlling because that's what metal does. Metal controls wood. It prunes it to make it a beautiful tree. So if you look at it as constructive criticism, maybe great. But I'm going to go even further. Remember when I was talking about communication? If you understand how these elements interplay, if this new partner understands about her, she wants somebody that is kind of tells the truth, person of justice, person that like kind of no BS. She wants somebody that has discipline, structure, tells the truth. That's what she wants. She also wants somebody very stable. That's what Earth is. She wants somebody that's very stable, not here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. But she also wants to be in the flow. She really wants to, have and the wood needs that flow. The wood is getting the nourishment from the flow. So that's what she needs in a relationship. And if she can communicate that to her partner, great. And then whatever is in his elements below, that's how he would like to be communicated to. So in that respect, if that happens, great. Okay. And then is my office facing in the best place? I have no idea where her office is facing, but based on her chart, I would say put your desk this year in the horse or the monkey. Avoid this tiger. We know that's not good. Avoid the snake. We know that's not good because of the Grand Duke. And this has 3 killings and the 5 yellow, so we don't want that. And then next year, she's going to have that double fire horse in her chart. And she's got already what's called a hot chart. She's got fire just kind of everywhere, with the exception of this day. And this is pretty full, which means the others aren't as full. But this means that she's create, create, create. So for her to finish that book, it would be great. The other thing I want to say about her book is get out in front of people and talk about it, whether it is finished or not. Get some buzz going out about your book. The biggest thing that I see in her chart is, as far as things she needs to watch out for, she has a tiger, monkey, and snake. These are animals that create ungrateful punishments. She's also got the pig. Now, truthfully, I have, not in this order, not with these elements together, but truthfully, I have a pig, snake, monkey, and tiger in my chart too, in some shape or form, that I'm going to be experiencing this year. My strategy, as I would relate to any of you who have any one of those travel animals, you have two, double up your efforts. If you have three, triple up your efforts. And if you have four, then quadruple up those efforts. That means you probably should travel. And if you travel, more opportunities will come your way, as well as you avoiding any type of pitfalls, if you will, that could create some problems along your way. When you're moving, you are not the sitting duck. Okay, checking in again. Should I keep going, team?
Please stand by.
As in, go ahead.
No, go ahead and do another chart if you would like.
Okay, all
Thank you
right.
so much.
So, all right. So this one,
Sorry. Hi, sorry, it's Linda. Sorry. Little technical problem. I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but sometimes the time zones get us messed up.
okay.
So, yeah, so we need a half an hour. Can we make that happen?
Yes, we can. And also, I see on my screen live, the content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Can we look into that, what that
Yeah,
means?
that's just our live stream that we've been doing for special
No problem.
sessions.
No
So,
problem.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to know. That's all I needed.
Yes. All
Hello.
right. So
You're not
Jace
there.
will be Jace will be here in 30 minutes.
Okay, no problem. You just let me know.
I will. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, no problem. Everybody's waiting for good stuff anyway, so we're good. All right, so let's move on to Teresa. Teresa, are you here in the room? And if you are, could we elevate Teresa? In the meantime, I'm going to read out what she says. What she would like to know is how to grow my wealth, either via my acupuncture practice or diversifying to increase income. Also finishing a major renovation. So finishing is the key word. In Northeast 1 and 2, maybe a tiny cross into Northeast 3. We'll check that on Friday. I think we can completely finish the job by February 3rd. Great, but not by 29th. Don't worry about it. However, Northeast 3 contains the leftover wood flooring that we are building furniture out of. Is this type of storage okay? Building won't happen in that room, just storage and retrieval of wood. Okay, so let's start with the growth of money, growing of money. So her wealth element is earth. So her wealth element, she actually has hidden in the ox. She has 3 ox and 1 pig. And so the ox and pig luckily have no negative connotations, but look at the luck cycle that Teresa is in. Teresa is in a goat luck cycle, which clashes her ox, clashes her day, and clashes her hour. Now, I don't know how old she is, if she's going to turn 60 before 2027. But in 2027, it's going to be the year of the goat in a goat luck cycle. And so we're now going to have 2 goats saying, you better change something about your career if you haven't. You better change something about your day if you haven't. And you better change something about your hour if you haven't. When you direct the class can be more comfortable. When you don't, that's when it gets like, what just happened here? Now, when you have these animals, as Teresa does, that they're kind of all stacked up, it was the luck of her destiny. So when it's good, it's really, really good. When it's not so good, that could be a little bit more challenging for her. Now, last year, as in the year of the dragon, the northeast sector, we had fortune virtue. So last year, hopefully, she did make some money. But what I'm going to ask for you to do is I want you to think about some of the things that are certainly available to you, and that is the elements on top. And we already know that yin metal or yang metal is not a favorable element in 2025. So we're going to have to look at the wood and we're going to have to look at the fire. Wood is about adaptability, partnerships, subscription model. So since this is in her day of birth, then we definitely want to have um, um, her focus on the relationship, because that shows up here. Focusing on, creating partnerships, subscription model, that would fall into your month, of course, but this is where her zone of genius is going to be, is focusing on a relationship a bit. And then when it comes to what she does, this could be, her legacy goal of being, I don't know, a certain type of acupuncturist that definitely has a specialty. Then this would be a really good time for her to get visible out into the public, so people know what she does, amplify her networks, and monetize the content that she has created. So acupuncturist, this is really good to have that yin metal there, because it's those little fine needles that she has. And then you have the pig in your chart. So there is going to be some clash, if you will, towards your friends, your social circles, advertisement, website, those kinds of things. And then when you do, just, in the social circles, when I talk about, people may be leaving your social circles. It could be by choice. It could be they've passed on if we're a certain age or still pretty young, so it might not be that. But, when you get up here and you start having clashes in your year, it could be that those friends are passing to another dimension. But my point of no matter how you are replacing your friends, or there's going to be new people that come into your life. Now, in her case, though, if her grandparents are living, this could affect a grandparent. But what I'm saying is the pig certainly has the opportunity, if located in the year, to find friends and elevate up. Always find people that are going to help lift you up. Okay. All right. All right. So also finishing a major renovation job. Now it's already started, and I'm glad that it's going to be finished by February 3rd. I don't know the volume of the leftover wood, and building furniture out of it. So is this type of storage okay? One of the ways that we create a feng shui activation is to move heavy objects in a different position, or completely out of a room and then put it back into a room, like a big heavy wardrobe. I don't know the volume of this wood to make a call on this, but I personally don't think I would keep that wood in that place. But if it's the only place that you can put it, I would just, whoever is moving that wood about, do it in such a gingerly way that it's almost non-noticeable, like taking out a board you know, a few times, you know, a week or something, and do not build in that room with saws and drills and hammers and all that kind of stuff. That would be not a great workroom to do that. But I do get that. I'm not sure where you live. You probably need to season that wood and keep it from being wet, so we just can't put it anywhere. It's the middle of winter, for gosh sakes. So I do get that you need the storage, but it's probably not the greatest place to store. If you have an alternate place, I would consider it, but if you don't, just know that the consequences of it being there are good. And let me go further in saying, in the Northeast, even though the pig and tiger combine, it's also destruction. So this could trigger the pig in your chart and create a destruction, and that's not really an ideal situation to grow your wealth. So it is destroying something. So, and it is in your social circles. So it could destroy something that you potentially didn't want to have destroyed. So here's your homework. If something blows up in your year of birth, how are you going to handle it? What is your plan B? So have a plan B, because this would most likely affect your year of birth because of the the pig being there. And so yeah, that's what I would consider doing that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go until she says stop. Susan A, are you here? And if you are, we can elevate you. Business expansion, online content, and valuable public speaking opportunities. Okay, so interesting chart here. I think you had a big birthday this year, so happy birthday. And so, and you know how I know that this is a big birthday, by the way, everyone? When you see whatever year you are going to turn 60, because there are 60 combinations. Remember, there's 5 different dragons, 5 different snakes, 5 different pigs, 5 different monkeys, all through the zodiac. There's 5 different types. Times 12, it is our 60 pillars. So she had a big birthday here, and she's in a pig luck cycle. Now she's going to be in this luck cycle until she turns 63. So coming soon. So this is the year that I would start looking at some things that are coming soon. But for right now, she's got the pig and the snake. Now, the pig and the snake, as we know, is a clash, and she has that internal clash. She has the monkey and the snake, which could be it could be the uh, combination, but it also could be a destruction. And with that pig there, I'm pretty certain it's probably a lot of destructive things that have happened throughout her life, but she would have to confirm that. But here's the thing. She has fire, but when you're trying to expand your and get that visibility, it's better if you have the fire on top, because fire can be seen when it's on top. But if it's below, it's much harder to see until fire comes to the surface within a year. Like next year is going to be a fire horse. That would probably be a time where she's going to be a little bit more visible. Now she's got a snake in her chart, so the fire's there, but I would say that the fire is more helping other people be visible. And what would be beneficial is potentially hiring someone to be like a PR person for her, or take some PR classes, for example, because this is a chart that doesn't really show the visibility that she's looking for here. So, but with that said, she does have the opportunity to create new content, innovate, grow, automate, building her list. We know that the metal isn't really that favorable, but it is about discipline and restructuring. And we already have the restructure here with the earth. So if this is something new, it could be like one, it doesn't really even get off the ground, and or it falls and then she can rebuild. But we do have the issue here of she also has a double pig. And so this is a lot of water putting out some of the potential fire that is already in her chart with this coming in. And then coming soon, she's going to be in a dog luck cycle where the dog and the dragon are going to be competing with each other. And that competition clash does not have to be bad. She just needs to make good choices about the people that she surrounds herself with. What is her marketing plan, as well as you know, her reputation. How is she building her reputation? So this would be a classic case where she could use the help of someone else to help be more visible if that is what she is struggling with. But she has the opportunity with the yang wood and to create content, and yin water to get followers. So there you go. All right, and then Kay, is Kay here today? I know she was here yesterday. I'm not sure she was here before, but she wants wealth building strategies and she wants to relocate to Spain. So first of all, we know that the yin metal, again, it's about discipline, resilience, and structure. So she's got to find some ways to, let me go back to one thing. Oh, no, okay, good. What we're gonna wanna do is find the elements for her. So for her, she's in a metal luck cycle. Now the metal is like this for this year. It may not be that for next year, but it is something that we want to be looking at. And in period 9, by the way, for all you people that have been saying, oh, metal's not that great or whatever, in period 9, metal is the wealth element because it to the period. But if fire is your wealth element, then you can capitalize on it too. But of the period, it would be metal. So the metal is there to be capitalized on, but it just is not great for this year, even though in period 9 it would be okay. All right, so she's got a lot of resources, and that's what metal is to her. And the good thing about that is that we do have certainly the opportunity to have people help her. And she's already told me when she went, and the reason that she's moving, several reasons, but one of the reasons is for what she does. She's a therapist and a writer and author, published many books. She has an online university and pretty amazing platforms. And when she went over to speak at a conference, she met a lot of expats that are just begging her to come over because they wanted more. And she just really resonated with the community. Let's just put it that way. And so that's why she's moving. And she was telling me, I can't believe how many people are already helping me. Why? Because she has all that resource. She doesn't have to do all that research by herself. And then the wealth building part of it, her wealth element is fire. So since she is a water day element, the element that controls you is going to be fire. So she has 2 wealth elements in the month and the day. Excuse me, she has 2 waters in her month and a day, which anytime fire comes along, it will be great. So next year could be easier for that wealth. And come on, let's face it, if you're relocating to Spain, that's going to cost money. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not going to make money, but the money that comes in most likely is going to also find its way out for this relocation. So best of luck on that. And then Kay, listen to the recording that I talked about the different things that you should do when you're looking for real estate. So I'm going to stop right here, unless Jase is here, and if he's not, why don't we do a few more questions? Kimiko, are you there? All right, I'm going to look.
Kathleen,
Yeah.
you've got time for one more?
Oh, okay. Let me go back and.
Perfect.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Let me share my screen one more time. Okay. Do we have in the house Martha H? Hi, Martha. I see you right there. Let's elevate you to the platform if we could. Could somebody bring Martha in? Hi there, Martha. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Where are you located?
I live in the Northwest in Washington State, near Seattle.
Got it. That was very clear with the palm tree and behind you.
Right? Have you seen me bundled up all day?
I have. Okay, well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. All right, so your question was how to improve my time management and my memory. All right, so first of all, let's look at some of the elements that we have going on here. So number one, you have a lot of fire in your chart. You also have that Yang fire horse. I was surprised to see how many Yang fire horse people, wherever their position was, showed up for this event. So you all must be getting ready for next year, I suppose. Anyway, so that is about visibility, monetize your content, and amplify your networks. Now, when it comes to our brains, I'm going to ask you actually a feng shui question. Do you have the northwest sector in your home or office? Is it there or is it missing?
It's there.
Perfect. What is in the northwest sector?
It's the corner of our living room, main space. I have some treasured books in a bookcase, mostly in that corner.
Okay. All right. So that would have been question number one. If your northwest sector isn't there, it's not in good condition, those kinds of things, it can create issues, if you will, with memory and thinking skills and things like that. So that's not the case. So we're just eliminating and finding out, we're trying to diagnose how to get you the best solution. So, okay, we tick that off. I believe.
Point you may need to know, I had a traumatic brain injury from a car collision.
Ah, okay. All right.
In 2004.
In 2004. Okay. So I would have to look at another software to see what was happening in 2004. Do you remember what month it was?
December 15th of 2004, to be exact.
Okay. December. Okay, so that was more the rat month, so rat and horse clash. Then we also have a tiger in your chart. I was just wondering if it happened to be in a monkey, it was a monkey day, a monkey hour at 3 o'clock, or you know, there's because the monkey tiger, when those get together, and I have a monkey tiger in my chart, that can cause some metal related accidents, could be, car accident or something like that.
It
Let me
may have
just
been like 2 p.m. It may have been that time frame, 2
So
p.m.
that would have been go. Okay, so again, process of elimination. Let me just ask you a quick question. Back when you were 17 years old, 17 to 26 years old, did you get in any car accidents or horseback riding accidents or have any stitches because got cut by chopping your vegetables or anything like that? Did anything happen during that time? And or was there some relationship disruptions during that time?
A major relationship disruption.
Okay. Of all the clashes, the tiger and monkey, and I have them in my chart. That's why people, when they ask me relationship questions, it's like, I'm probably not the best person to ask because I have a monkey and tiger in my chart, and it's hard on relationships. So, but I know that, and I try to express that. But that is something that can occur. And it's not always, but it can occur. But it is also, I mean, if you look at me, I mean, I've got scars on my body from the time I was a kid to present day. So that's because of a tiger monkey clash. That's not it. So we need to eliminate that. So now I'm going to go to the metal in your chart. The metal in your chart, you were born in the summer, and this is an autumn. Metal is September and October, if you will. That this is the autumn element. It is not a summer element or spring element. So this horse, you were, and many of us are, right? You were born out of season. So actually, that metal one can become a little bit hot, but in the same respect, it also can weaken um, weaken, if you will. So, but you don't have any water in your chart.
Devastating for me. I love water.
I see that. I see that, but you're in a water cycle right now. So the water cycle is definitely helping you, but the ox and the horse, that is a harm. And let me ask you this. Before the traumatic brain injury, were you also, did that also create, before that happened, how do you feel your memory was?
It was excellent. I I I I could recall things um so well. It was it's something I miss dearly.
I'm sure, and I'm sorry for that experience for you. Which probably can get even into your time management issues because you're kind of all over the place as far as that. Now, there's a couple reasons why you could be all over the place. One, you used to water. Water, when it comes into your chart, is actually it's an element that you just aren't used to living on a day-to-day basis. There is none in your chart, and it means the creation part of your life. What was happening between 57 and 66? This is when you had pure water against pure fire, or mostly pure fire. What were those years like? Do you remember that?
Let me see. Um
About 10 years ago, what was going on there?
oh,
In
let's
your
see.
career,
Oh,
um,
um um I I had I had completed a 4-year training as a Feldenkrais practitioner, but I had not yet really taken off with um, getting clients. So I went into, I just kept going after more trainings. And 2014 was the culmination of NLP master training. I had a year-long mentorship, and um, um, that was kind of an awkward time for me. It was um
And
I
so
still,
sad.
I still floundered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and that one is understandable. Either it's gonna, the reflection of the sun is gonna dance on the ocean water, or it's just gonna be a tumultuous, turbulent time. So and was there an unfortunate loss in the family of parents during that time?
It may have been around the time of my father's passing.
Okay. So again, it depends on what's happening in your life that could happen. Hey, acupuncturists out there, can you help me out? What element would you consider the brain, since we work on the same systems? I'll wait for you to pop that into the chat for me. I've got about 3 or 4 acupuncturists here. What would you say that brain would be? Because I'm wondering where this going to be going, right?
Water.
Uh, So water is what Eleanor is saying is relating to the brain, and you actually don't have that there, even though you felt like you were on track. Bringing in the water could actually help you. But it also is, it looks like my internet just got unstable. Hope you're hearing me okay. And then that way we are looking at that we have this deficit of water. So may I ask how old you are right now?
67.
Oh, you just entered into it. It's considered an organ on its own, central vascular awareness, governing vessel for the subconscious, iceberg information. Yeah, like I said, I just saw that I saw that my internet went out, so hopefully it will be okay. So fire for synapses and water for wisdom. That makes sense. So the fire in your chart is according to some of the acupuncturists, water is for the wisdom part of your brain, and then the fire, this is what we're wanting to have happen. So you do have a lot of fire in your chart, so that is something that definitely could help you. Um, and I'm sure you've probably done every treatment possible, alternatives to help stimulate the brain and all of that. Are those protocols that you've done? Have you found anything that has worked for you?
Um, well, I study, the nutrition, the functional nutrition and the endocrinology relationship, and um, there's definitely some aspects there. I have not tried acupuncture though. I had a little bit early in my recovery process, but I was everything was so foggy in those early years. I couldn't recall at all what benefit I may have derived from it.
Right. Got it. So, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I am not a health practitioner. I just read the elements of what that is. But let me help you time manage piece of it. I think that would be something that I definitely could help you with. So the time management thing is, when I look just at your chart, you do have from a natal chart, looking at the elements, you do have what it takes to have the discipline, and that would be metal. Metal is the one that knows how to systematize, how to put things in order, and create systems and all those kinds of things that need to happen, and the discipline to do that. The difference between yin metal and yang metal wants to get it done. I want to get it done. Let's get this off my plate. That's the to-do list, the task list, and things like that. The yin metal is like, I don't really want to do that. I just want to, I want to, it's more of a showy element, if you will. It's like, look at the beauty of everything. I don't care that this is in order. So that's a little bit of the yin and yang of your chart, But if you could start, whether it be the time blazer system of every day, just finding a 2 hour time slot where you could get in your zone of genius, that would be something that I would do. And then just some of the things, I don't know if you do this or not, but like turn your notifications off. People kind of complain that I never answer my phone and I never answer the text. If I would answer every text and phone when they called me throughout the day, I would get nothing done. So I kind of have a discipline with myself that I'm going to check phone and email, text, all the different platforms, because nobody wants to be on the same platform anymore. I don't know how many you're on, and that can help kind of stretch that rubber band to breakage, if you will, and that bandwidth. And then you get frustrated and it's like, I'm not even doing anything. So I would start slow. And when you say improve time management, where do you feel you waste or lose most time?
I can get really focused on something and lose track of the time and miss doing other necessary things.
Like dinner
Or
and I mean, I can be the same way, Martha. Sometimes it's like I'm eating my breakfast at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I forgot to take a bite of my oatmeal or whatever. So I hear you on that one. Um, this is one of the best time management tools that I can think of, is the timer on my phone. When I am working, and on my I have a stand-up, sit-down desk.
okay,
So every half hour, um, if I'm sitting, I must stand up. If I'm standing up, I'll decide my fatigue level on whether I'm going to sit down or not. But every half hour, I have this phone go off. Now, if I'm in a writing session, I will give myself an hour, because after an hour, I can get a little whatever. But this to me is my saving grace. And don't put it right here by you, put it over, so you have to actually take that action to get up and change your, and then I would also
change
plan.
state.
When we're talking about the plans, we're getting a little off track as far as time, but we'll catch it up, I'm sure, because I do want to go through the time, the how to plan out your week. That might give you some tips there on how to get the things that you need to get done. Okay? So any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much for the time you've spent with me.
That's okay. Was there anything helpful in there that you'd like to share?
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate that. I can totally relate to the movement piece of brain state, because of what I know about um all of these qualities of so that really resonates with me.
Good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much for allowing us to look at your chart. Best of luck
Thank you.
with your endeavors, and hopefully you'll find some good solutions for the memory retention. So good luck with
Thank
that.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, all right.
So, Kathleen, would you be willing to let folks know there's a little bit of confusion from the VIPs, especially as to who gets their reading live here for the event? So, can you just
So,
let
so
folks know?
yeah, so there was a webinar, and all of you, if you are on my list, or on one of the affiliate lists that sent you an invitation to the webinars, we were having people come to the webinars, and for every ticket that was sold, they were put on a Wheel of Fortune board. And they were the ones that got selected to, if they bought their ticket, and they bought the VIP pass at the time, because that was the feng shui consultation. Sorry, was the winner on that. But at the webinars, if you came to the webinars as well and bought a ticket, if you were at those webinars, then we put you into the presentation where you would get your chart read. But I could only read so many. It's already 2:45 here. So we only could do so many before, I can't do anymore within this time slot, right? So that's why we had to cut it off. And so yeah, that was where we were at.
Okay, thank you so much. And for folks who are VIPs and you registered right before the event or like the morning of, you can email us. I'll put an email in the chat here for you to reach out to, and we will follow up with you to let you know what you can do.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I know I want Kathleen to do my chart now. I do.
Like I said, there's a real easy way to get a full hour, and that would be getting into a minimum of a gold package, and then we can really dive in deep. But there are actually just a couple of them left, and I think what we're going to choose to do today is we're going to go a little bit over. I am going to do one more chart if it's okay, just because someone who's living in Europe.
That's A-okay. Please do.
All right, I'm going to do Nguyen. So if you can elevate her, please, to the main stage.
Here she comes. Woo woo.
Thank you so much. I've been waiting for this moment for all this weekend.
Hi there.
Oh
How
my
you
gosh.
doing? How you doing?
Thank you so much, Catherine. So happy.
You're so welcome, and welcome to the program as well.
Oh yeah, I love your talking. Just so tired here. Sorry about that.
I know. What time is it for you?
It's 9 o'clock almost in the evening.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. All
But
right.
thank you. Very appreciative.
Oh, we appreciate you too. Yes, back at you, honey. Okay. Financial stability. That's what we want. Financial stability. Okay. So, what your wealth element is water. So we know that a few years ago we had water, we had the water rabbit, we had the water tiger, and so we had the tiger and then the rabbit, excuse me. But those were both water on the top. But what the current luck cycle that you're in though is going to be fire. And how old are you, if you mind sharing?
62 actually.
So
I just done my birthday.
okay, so happy
January 5th. Yeah,
Happy birthday.
no worries.
So here's another Yang Fire horse. Isn't it funny how certain years do attract certain people? It's almost you intuitively know you need to get prepared for something. So you are going to be going through a big transition from the goat luck cycle into your horse luck cycle. So first of all, let's look at those elements. You do not have wood, the number one, but you have the number two, which is water. So one of the best ways that you are going to be able to get some money is adaptability and partner with people. You got to find some people to partner. Now, could you remind me again, what type of business that you do?
I've just started last year. It's breath work and coaching for confident new year business. Yeah.
Nice.
And then before that, I was with the airline for 25 years, big brand airlines.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Got it. Okay.
So I just started business, just started.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's a good time actually to start a business because if you manage your business properly, you have more stability than being employed. Now, the downside is, in the United States, and I don't know what type of retirement benefits there are for people in Europe. But here we have, pensions if you've worked for somebody for a long time. But if you don't have a pension because you've been working so long, but you've worked for a major airline, so hopefully they'll still be in business by the time you retire, because I have known top CEOs that have worked for airlines and they are now defunct. Eastern Airline is the one I'm talking about right now. And that pension plan went out the door when they went under. So even then, a pension doesn't mean you have it. If the company bellies up, the company bellies up. Or it goes away. I didn't know if that was too colloquial. I'm sorry. Anyway, so then, so what I would say for you is partnering with somebody. One of the
I
fast,
am looking for a business partner. That was my question that I put in. Yeah.
yeah,
Because I'm
absolutely.
not good at business. I'm not a good business person. I've never done business.
Aha. So that is okay. I actually have something that I want to, let's see if I can do this on
Thank you.
this screen or not. I can't. No, I can't. So you're just going to have to everybody look at your, this is the only time I'm going to talk about the archetypes, okay? Because we're sort of losing time here. So look at the archetype where it says your wealth element. Now, Nguyen has, looks like 46% in entrepreneur and 94% in wealth generator. And what that means is that she could either be a entrepreneur or she could work for someone else. But she also has this part of the archetype filled more, wealth generator, which means working for somebody else. Just letting you know, it might be easier for you to make money working for somebody else. So, hold on.
I got a bit of a feeling of that because I'm not very good at running the business yet. I certainly haven't got the handle of it.
Well, there's a lot to it. I mean, most business owners, honestly, I'll tell you the exact same thing when I first became a feng shui consultant 25 years ago, it was like, I'm a feng shui consultant. And I just thought that my doors would be knocked down with clients left and right. That's not the case. There's marketing, there's business planning, there's networking. If you think you're going to be working less as an entrepreneur, sadly, you're going to be probably working lots of weekends and lots of evenings and things like that. So that's a question you want to ask yourself about your financial stability. Do I want to be the entrepreneur? It's in your chart to say that you can be.
Actually, excuse me,
Mhm.
this is not my chart.
Hmm.
This is not my chart. Dragon. I don't have a horse. I have monkey, rat, and tiger.
If you
This
could,
is not my chart. I'm so sorry.
me too, because I had my team check it. So I will go
I
back on
looked at my chart and it is not my chart.
that's okay. Can you
Sorry about
send
that.
over date and time of birth? Just put it in a private chat to me
Sure, no
and
worries.
I'll run your chart real quick.
So what do I do?
Put your date and time of birth in
In the
chat.
chart. Okay, sure, of course. Sorry about that. It's just not my chart, Kathleen.
It's my team that didn't double check it. That's not your fault. That's our fault.
And we just muted you for a quick second. If you unmute when you're ready.
Okay. Okay, give me a second here.
And Ewan, can you just check your mic? It sounds like it might be rubbing up against something. We want to make sure that we can hear you great and that Kathleen can hear you great. And then you can unmute when you're ready. Thanks,
Yeah.
Yuen. Thank you so much. It's all good. Oh, still rubbing a little bit. But maybe when you sit still.
Sorry.
Um,
Yep.
maybe if you just hold it.
Nguyen, can you
I'm
hear?
here.
Okay,
I can hear you.
hold on. Let me download. So are you born a Yang Water Tiger? Month is Yang Water Rat, or day is Yang Earth Monkey, and you're
Yes.
okay. All
Game
right,
Fire Dragon.
got it. Okay, I don't know what was submitted. I will have to.
And the thing is that, Catherine, my dominant archetype is that entrepreneur. That's what I was a bit confused. Should I be an
Good catch.
entrepreneur? That
Good
was,
catch. So
but I'm
here's
not very good at it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm just going to share it right from the internet there. So just give me a second. I should close that.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Really appreciate it.
No worries. Okay. All right. So everybody can see this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's start over. All right. So again, that switches everything. But you look. We'll let you get your mic adjusted. Are you good? Okay. All right. So you still have the water as being your most dominant element, if you will. You do have a monkey tiger in your chart. I don't know if you heard the last reading or not, but I wonder if some of those things apply to you. Hard on relationships. You got a lot of little cuts and scars in your you may have had a lot of little fender benders in your life. That's a monkey tiger clash. Okay, but you also have what's called hidden. You have a hidden 3 harmony in your chart. A dragon, a monkey, and a rat creates what's called a 3 harmony, which brings more water into your chart. So financial stability is quite interesting because you've got so much wealth in your chart. You've got water every single pillar, and you've got the monkey, dragon, rat trine. So this is perfect for making money, if you will. You are going through the luck cycle of a yang fire horse, and you are a yang water fire person here. And so during this time, from the time you're 59 to whatever age you are right now, was that the time that you decided at what point from 59, that's a better question, did you decide to change from being in the airlines to owning your own business? How old were you?
After COVID, just a couple of years ago, after COVID, I did
How
a course and I trained something else. So I started the business beginning of 2024. I trained at 23, just after COVID.
Yeah. And how old were you when that happened?
59, I think, something like that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Look what happened. Change. It was an outside circumstance, sure,
Yeah.
but it was at 59, this change. Isn't it interesting how serendipitously even outside occurrences align with your chart to say, you got to change. Now, you might have changed for another reason anyway. COVID just made it easy. Now, was it an easy choice to do that? Maybe not, but you were forced to do something different. And your chart really supports that. What I would be cautious of is next year, you've got a fire horse luck cycle and a fire horse, which means you now have 2 horses in your chart when 2026 comes in. So this would be a very good year for you to start planning ahead along the way. Now you've got a tiger in your chart, so the tiger in this. We're gonna mute you while we're talking here because it really does make a little bit of, there you go. You can just listen and then I'll ask you clarifying questions. I'll do that, okay? Okay. So then we have the water, like I said, the water is for you to have partnerships and a subscription-based model. So I've done holotropic breath work, if that's what you're talking about. And I remember even way back when I was doing those, the practitioner said, you know, it would really be good if you did a package of like 3 or 5 or whatever. So that could be something that you would consider, not one-offs, but packages. That could be seasonal packages. They could be specific for, you said that you were working on helping people with confidence. That could be something, definitely, in this fire is really going to help you get that visibility, for sure. And so what I would do is subscription-based models, and then I would also look very much into getting yourself. You're a quite lovely person. You have a very sweet demeanor, and I think that would shine brilliantly online. So getting the visibility and then creating some content. Now, it's a practice that, maybe not everybody knows about. So writing some articles or things like that would be a good idea for you to incorporate. That would be something that you could do. So the money there, it's finding the right product and service for people to buy. So what I would do, because of what's in your chart, I would look to see what's in your southwest sector and spend a lot of time in that sector. That is where you're going to find the moon. And the moon is more feminine, or yin type help, guardian angel type help. And I would be sitting there calling this in. Definitely using your command direction, you being a visionary, that is like you can have a pretty big vision of what you want to do as borders. So don't think about just Madrid. I think that you wanted to move, but are you the one that had the visa thing that you wanted somewhere else? Or was that you? Okay, so crossing borders, as in if you have an online product, like you and I are quite far away geographically, but yet we're so close, we're just a screen away. So think about how you can build an international, because especially for all of you who have yang water, especially in your birth, your month of birth, very much consider, or yang fire for that are in those two positions. Those will help you infiltrate the message on a more global basis. So so I would build out your packages, but make sure that you're really helping along the way, by getting that visibility out there. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you blog? Do you podcast? Do you do any of those things yet?
Catherine, I speak on stage. I've just done my public speaking.
Perfect. That's perfect. So selling on stage is going to be a very good strategy for you. So that gets you the visibility. The biggest issue that I do see with your chart is this yang earth in your day. I don't know the condition of your relationships, but I know monkey and tiger. I know how that's my story too. So that would be a little bit of a earthquake here for you this year. So do protect yourself on that if you feel that that's coming. May not even apply. And then you have the tiger in your chart. So the tiger, I'm also a water tiger, but it's in my hour. When I see that, I know that there's an affinity. When I see an animal that shows up, that's exactly like mine in the chart, there is some connection, because we carry that same, these 60 pillars also have this essence of certain attributes, but the Yang water tiger is a very intelligent animal. So use your intellect to elevate and become the expert, and that is something that's going to help you have financial stability. Okay. So you also have a horse in your chart. So the south is also very much available to you. What is the sector of your space?
The south is the office and the living room. We spend all the time there, all the time.
Good.
But the house is quite ancient because it's an ancient quarter. It's the old part of Madrid. So the house is built about 100 years old. So,
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, you know, and in that room right now,
yeah.
so you see that you've got that beautiful window behind you. That's a
Mm-hmm.
bird.
Mm-hmm.
Then nice light getting through,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly what we want to have happen.
But the
So
thing is that I have one small question. My heart is not in what I'm doing at the moment. I think I might have chosen the wrong kind of business to do.
and
Don't know.
how did you land on
I won the course. I
that's
just
good
won it.
information.
Yeah, I did it
That
and
is,
won it. Yeah.
yeah,
I think
that
I
is
actually would like to do feng shui. It's more like my stuff, I think.
okay.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Never
Well,
mind.
that's certainly possible. Whenever you have a lot of, and here's the thing, the Yang dragon is a very spiritual animal, and I consider feng shui a very spiritual platform. And so I believe that that could have helped you going into that direction. So, and I think there's great opportunities there. There's is need to have spaces adjusted properly. I don't know what the market is in your country, but I think that the Spanish market is really there's lots of opportunities in the Spanish speaking. So it
Yeah,
would
I am
be
fluent in Spanish, so that helps. Fluent.
perfect,
Yeah. But
perfect,
yeah,
perfect.
I just have
So
to make up my mind.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
hard.
So good information to know. If your heart is not into it, I would give yourself some time, and you've signed up for the program, correct? So we'll be working with each other. And I would to help you kind of discover what that is. Now, you were in transportation. What is water? Transportation. I'm wondering if there is something that you could do in the transportation industry, but not necessarily you working in, the airlines or whatever, but you are serving those airlines that I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like working as either a pilot or check-in or customer service or God forbid hostess because or flight attendant, excuse me for aging that comment. It's like you have to have battle skills anymore. It's like I give so much credit to those people, and teachers are in the same group. It's like what's happened to society. So I can imagine how stressed they are. So what about finding something that you can serve them with some sort of metaphysical uh, modality to help people that are very stressed that are in the transportation industry. So communication is something when you have all this water, communication is going to be very easy for you. And so then you've got this yang fire that is shining the sun on you. So what I would do is between now and when we do the Time Blazer onboarding, we'll talk more about this next week, is I would start, kind of writing down the things. And if you don't know what you want to do, write down what you don't want to do. Let's eliminate that it is, and then let's see. But I'm telling you, transportation, communication, I mean, could you make it as a public speaker and be a motivational speaker? I think that would be something that would probably be more fitting. Breath work is a wind modality. And so it would be, there's a little bit of wood here, but I think your money is going to come from your research, your talks, and finding the topic that would help you get the people into your ecosystem. But then what are you going to sell from there? I hope you can stay for our next speaker, because this speaker may give you some ideas that you haven't even thought about yet. Okay, so just hang on for just a little bit more if you can. Okay. Was that a good segue?
Right. That is perfect, perfect, perfect. We are going to take just a quick moment to give ourselves a little bit of energy, a little stretch, because this next speaker is amazing and you're going to want to be really nice and energized to take in everything that he has to offer. So, everyone, please bring your arms up over your head, stretch it up a little bit. Awesome. And you might need to either pull your arms back to stretch out your chest or put your arms forward. Beautiful. Take your hands, put them on top of your head, gently pull down your chin, and maybe give yourself just like a little gentle taps on your head, like you're doing an imaginary shampoo. Wonderful. Stretch it out. And now take your hands, bend them like this, and rub your fingernails up against each other. It's going to give us a real nice little boost. It's like a Qigong coffee shot. You can hear them like clicking together. Rub them together, rub them together, rub them together. Gonna do it for 2 more seconds. 1, 2. And then gently take your fingertips and just gently tap on your own forehead and your temples and anywhere on your face that'll make you feel nice and energized. All right, wonderful. And now shake your hands out, shake your little fingers. And now we're going to have Miss Kathleen come up to the stage and let us know about our fabulous new speaker. Thank you.
So, hello everyone again. As you know, I am trying to very much help serve, and I'm so happy that, truthfully, your chart was miscalculated, because we would have never gotten to that profound understanding of what's in your chart and what could happen. And I see someone who Jase can help directly. And so if you all could turn on your cameras so Jase can see you. Jase, hi, how are you? It's so great to see you. I understand you just got back from a cruise.
Yeah,
And where are you located, by the way?
we're in Boise, Idaho. We were on the marketers cruise with a whole bunch of other speakers. Got back to Cocoa Beach yesterday, flew back across country, and we're here today.
Oh my goodness. So you got a little jet lag, so that might have been a little bit of the disruption with the time change. No problem. We got some other work done as well. So everyone, I'd like you to have your full attention on Jase right now. He's a nationally recognized speaker and trainer, and he's celebrated as a leader in authentic businesses. So this is all what we're about here, right? So he specializes in public speaking and sales. And Jase has appeared in national TV, radio, and films like Pass It On and The Power of Coaching, alongside icons like Brian Tracy, Les Brown, and Evander Holyfield. His expertise and influence is with negotiations, NLP, and closing techniques. Jase has authored 8 books, including collaborations with Deepak Chopra, Anthony Robbins. His mastery of sales and personality dynamics makes him a sought-after authority for those looking to elevate their business and communication skills. Jase, thanks so much for being on my stage today. Take it away.
Thanks, Kathleen. Y'all, I'm just going to jump right in. I want to know if I'm talking to the right people. So I ask these questions. Please give me a wave or put a yes in the chat if this is you. And thanks so much, Kathleen. Who wants more sales? Like, you actually want whatever you do to be a massive success. Who wants more sales? Please give me a wave. I see Kamiko, thank you. Put a yes in the chat if that's you, either one. Who wants to make more impact? Like, you actually care and you want to change the world. If that's you, give me a wave or put a yes. And by the way, if you hear some noise in the background, I have an infant son and he's over there chatting. Who wants to finally make what you're worth? Like, you know you're worth. Yes, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Sandra. I see you. And how about, would you like to hang out and do business with thought leaders that are crushing it? Who would like that? If your Rolodex was full of, oh, nice. Thank you guys for participating. I got to tell you, as one of my first mentors said, if waving your hand is too much work for you, your life is going to suck. So thanks for participating. You're about to learn how one presentation I did made over $2 million in sales for my business. And more importantly, how you can do this too. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about being a public speaker and getting paid a check to speak. That business model is really, it's not very effective anymore, and it doesn't make an impact, and it doesn't make a lot of money. This is about making massive sales and impact using speaking. Do you guys get the distinction there? This is about using speaking as a marketing and a sales vehicle, because speaking is the number one fastest way to grow your business, and anyone can do this with the right training. So you're about to discover the secrets of speaking, how to make a massive impact, how to be a world-class speaker, how to get raving fans, and most importantly, how to get a ton of clients after every presentation. Who thinks that sounds pretty good? Give me a wave or put a yes to that. Yes, you guys are such good participants. I love you. Thank you, Martha. Kathleen's waving her hands. You rock, Kathleen. So before I go on, more important than what I do is why I do this. And let me ask you all a question. How many of you believe you were meant to help just a few people or a whole lot of people? Just a few or a lot? It's a lot, right? And were you meant to make a small difference or a major impact in their lives? A small impact or a major impact? So the reason I do what I do, and you could believe in spirit, universe, whatever you want to believe, and I believe in God. I believe that you have a God-given mission that only you can do, and it can be funded and fulfilled through your business. And I'm here today because I want to help your God-given mission and your God-given message reach the world and make a difference. So together we make the world a better place. Is that cool or is that cool? And I gotta say thank you for being here. You're on day 3 of an event, and your cameras are coming on. And you guys are a good looking. Do me a favor, look at someone in another Zoom box and say, "Thanks for being here. You're awesome, baby." And don't leave out baby, because no one puts baby in a corner. Anybody remember? You guys are good looking. Do me a favor, look at the person on your right and say, "Hey, you look pretty good today." I can see your lips move. Yeah, thank you for doing. And now look at the person on your left and say, "Well, at least you made it. You tried." No, don't say that. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But I do want to acknowledge you all, though. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in getting ahead. I've been listening to the conversations. Whoever the last lady was who was being coached, boy, we have stuff for you and everyone here. And I also have to give a big shout out to Kathleen and also Linda, who's helping run the event. Can you all feel the amount of love and time and energy they've put in? Can we get a big Zoom round of applause for Kathleen? Kathleen, you're awesome, and I can't wait to journey more with you. You are just great. And by the way, those of you considering Trailblazer, do it. Like, do it. I hope you've already done it. And if you're on the fence, go do it. You are in the right place. So in case you don't know me, a quick introduction. I went to Iceland to see the Northern Lights. I've been on the news a bunch of times. My first book came out with Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Mark Victor Hansen. I was in the movie Pass It On with a lot of today's thought leaders. Greg Reed created, John Assaraf, Michael Beckwith, Les Brown, Dennis Prager, Rudy Rudiger. I was in the movie Them. I've been and published in a ton of books. I've spoken places like Gorilla Summit all the way to Harvard. Do you all remember those beer commercials that came out a couple years ago? And it was like a Spanish guy, and he's like, "I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends." Do you all remember those? I met that guy. He's actually a Jewish actor from New York. He's not Spanish at all, but I did get a product shot with him. And speaking of products, I've been around long enough that I have made CD. Is everyone here old enough to know what a CD or a DVD is? Is anybody not old enough? Okay, good. You're my peeps. So on the left are some of the CDs and DVDs I've created. On the right are some of the courses that I've written. And I've written for presentations for some of the most influential people. Probably most of you would know Les Brown, one of the top motivational speakers in the world. And I'm blessed to make a difference in the world. And here's the thing I want you all to get. Who would like more time off? When you learn how to sell from stage, when you learn how to grow your business through speaking, you have time and money for what's important. So one of the things I do that's important, I like to travel and go on mission trips. I've been in Nicaragua, Ghana, Uganda. The other thing I do is my wife and I import art from Africa. And if you all can see over my shoulder right here, that's one of our paintings that we imported. And when COVID hit, God put it on my heart to start importing art because these artists were starving. So we started importing the art from Africa and we sell it and we give 100% of the money to charity. We only keep enough money to buy more paintings. Is that cool or is that cool, y'all? What would it mean for your life and business if your side projects made so much money that you made hundreds of thousands of dollars in your side projects? So we do a thing called African Art for Missions, and I've done a lot of cool stuff in business, but this is the coolest I've ever done. There's a place called City of Refuge Ministries in Ghana that saves children from being child slaves, and they built a school and a place the kids can live. They don't give them back to the parents because the kids will be resold. So we help them buy a grain mill, y'all, so they can take in more kids. And then this is the coolest thing I've ever done in business. We bought a bus. We helped them buy a school bus. Like, I've done a lot of cool stuff, but buying a school bus to save children who used to be child slaves and give them a future, that's what life and business is about. Who's with me on this? Yeah, I see Susan nodding her head. You guys are really participatory. I love you guys. Here's the other way to make a difference. I help people just like you learn how to speak and change the world through your programs. It's for getting your message out there, for reaching more people, for being successful, and getting you the money for the things that are important to you outside of your business, the charities that you want to fund. So that's why I'm here today. So I want to know, let's talk about you. Are you ready for a return? Have you spent money on marketing, sponsorships? Have you spent money to start your business, to become certified, to grow your skills? Have you been investing in yourself? Do you have big expenses coming up, but you still don't have enough clients? I see some nods. I see some very sheepish nods. So the opportunities now, profitable presentations can be done by anyone who has the right training. And here's what's critical. Very few people know how. Please write this down. If you don't have to take notes. I encourage you to take notes. I habitually say, write this down. So you choose what you want to do. I do know this. If you take notes, your retention rate goes up and you'll use more and you'll make more money and have more success. So, yeah, and I'm not sure if you mean you're in love with me or your mission. I'll just assume me, and I'll say thank you in advance. So, so I cracked myself up on that one. So here's what I want you to write down. Your speaker training determines your speaker results. Your speaker training determines your speaker results. And I'm here because there's a big challenge out there in the market. Too many people have learned the power of speaking. And frankly, it's what all the most successful coaches do. And they get on stage and they don't succeed. And so I want to help you actually succeed. So here's what happens when you learn how to sell from stage. You change three things. You change your profits, you change the world, and you change you. Well, how are you going to change your profits? One webinar or seminar can change your business forever. You're just one stage away from the life and business you want. How does it change? It can make you a whole ton of money. Speaking is the number one fastest way to grow your business. It's how the high achievers do it, whether they're raising money, raising capital, gaining clients, or making sales. You can make a lot of money from one speech. 5 and 6 figure paydays are normal. From a 1 to 3 day event, 6 to 7 figure paydays are normal. Let me say it again. From one speech, 5 to 6 figures is normal, as in 10 to 100,000. From a 1 day event to a 3 day event, 100,000 to millions is normal. It's lower no cost marketing. It's mostly free to speak. Pre-COVID, there was, I don't know, 4,000 stages. Linda, if you know the newest numbers, put in the chat for me. I believe the newest number is there's like no, actually it's even more than this. There's like 8 to 11,000 stages a month looking for speakers. Do you realize, y'all, there's more stages than you could ever get on in your lifetime looking for people to speak? So great speakers get invited back over and over again. Great speakers get more platforms. Great speakers get invited to more podcasts. Great speakers get invited on more stages. And what sets you apart is your speaker training. Now you're going to change the world because you're going to help a lot of people. Linda just put in the chat, 52 billion will be made in 2025 by selling from stage. You're going to help a lot of people. You make a major, not a minor impact. You make the money to fulfill on your mission, and it's how your life-changing message is heard. And then here it's going to change you. Who's my personal growth people? Like who loves the breakthrough? You love to grow. You love shedding the baggage. That's me. I've been doing so much great personal growth lately. Well, it's where you get known. It's become who you knew you were supposed to be. You get seen for your greatness. Now, why does this lead into personal growth? Speaking calls you to be your best. You have to be at your best to be a great speaker. Let me say it again. You have to be at your best to be a great speaker. And you're going to change because the people you hang around and you do business with will change. Here's how I like to say it. Speakers hang out with speakers. Let me say it again. Speakers hang out with speakers. When you speak on stage, you get to meet the other speakers in a virtual green room or in a real green room, or when you speak on someone else's stage. And now you become a peer and you get their phone number and they become your friends. What would it do for your life if the top 5 people you hung around with were the people whose audiobooks you've been listening to, the podcasts you've been listening to, the stages you've been attending? What would it do for your life if those 5 people changed? Would it make a minor or a major difference in your life? It's a major difference. So now let's talk about time. Would anybody here like a little more time? Like you guys are, and I heard the conversation about, guys, if you're moving from who was it that was talking? Was it Sandra that was being interviewed last? I'm not sure who it was, but she was talking about, I'm not great at business yet. Or was it Yen? I'm not sure who it was. You know, it's not easy to go from a job to an entrepreneur. And being a coach, who's a coach in this room? If you're a coach or you sell something, like, give me a wave. If you're not a coach, put in the chat what you do. I want to know who my non-coaches are. But you guys, the world of coaching is a very interesting world because you have to wear both the hat of the promoter and the one who delivers the content. And you've got, we call it pumpers and dumpers. Pumpers pump it up, they make the sale. Dumpers deliver the content. This is a very strange world where you have to do both. And so it takes something special. And really, it takes some great training to be able to do this effectively. Now, no matter what you're doing, if you're a coach, you're going to be making sales of some sort, and it's going to take time. So let's look at how speaking can save you time. The traditional way to do this, the old way, let's suppose you're going to set up like 100 sales calls. That's 100 individual people you got to contact, an hour each. That's 100 hours of your time. It's hard. Your positioning is bad. Do y'all know what I mean by positioning? Like when someone meets with you, if they're like, I don't know who you are, or if they're like, oh my gosh, I want to work with you. That's what I mean by positioning. And it takes just too long. Now, if you go the speaking route, you do one presentation for 1 hour. You have better positioning, easier conversions, and more sales. So you also get better clients. So what would you rather do? 100 hours or 1 hour? 1 hour. And this is how you get the time and the money for what you want. This is it right here. Speaking's it. So people buy stories, not stuff. They buy the stories you tell and the stories they hope to tell by buying your stuff, and our story begins. So people ask, Jase, why are you into this? And I want you to know my story because I want you to know my heart and how it makes a difference for you on this journey. Back in 2001, my life sucked. I was on this downward spiral. And at the time, I thought it was okay. But looking back on it, I realized how little confidence I had. I was not making the money I knew I could make. Things were just going down. Actually, I have a picture of me back then that's even better. So this was me back in 2001. How, Linda, I don't appreciate the open mouth laugh. That was none of my other jokes were funny. Now Linda's so is Martha. This picture.
You look so young. I mean, you look young now, but you look so young. I'm trying to calculate the time. Sorry, didn't mean to take up the space.
It's fine. It was 20 years ago. By the way, Linda's helped me run multiple events, and she is awesome. If you ever going to do events, hire Linda. So, yeah, how much confidence do you think that guy had? How much dates do you think that guy was going? I showed this picture for like a decade, and I asked how many dates was that guy going on, and I'm in this big room, 300 people, and someone yells out, with the killer van in the background, not many. That was not my van. That was a van of a guy. Anyway, let's just move on from this picture. So that was me. And life just wasn't working right. And I went to an event. Now, I was a struggling real estate agent and a real estate investor. And I'll never forget, I was at a real estate club meeting and they did what's called Deal of the Month. And at Deal of the Month, they'd have people get on stage and share what they've done lately, and the crowd would vote who had the better deal. I'll never forget this one meeting. The first guy gets on stage and he made $50,000. And this was in 2001 from one deal. And then the second guy shares, he did 60,000, but he would get paid 10,000 a month for 6 months. And we're voting on who had the better deal. And have you ever had this moment where you're looking at people making a lot more money than you, more successful, doing the thing you want to do? And I had the thought, I'm every bit as good as they are. I'm every bit as smart as they are. I'm every bit as worthy and deserving as they are. How come I'm not making the money they are? And I hope you felt that. I hope if you're in this room, you felt that. There's something in you that stirs, that knows you're worth more. And I remember looking at them, and these same guys would go to these seminars that cost like $5,000. And I'm like, losers. But meanwhile, I was the guy in the back of the room that was broke, that only spent like 150 bucks on a seminar. So who was the real, right? So I went to a real estate club, a real estate meeting. I think it was a Robert Kiyosaki event. I'm pretty sure it was Robert Kiyosaki. And this guy gets on stage and he talks about how to change your life. And I don't think I've done a good enough job impressing. I just didn't have the relationships as friends I wanted. I didn't have healthy habits. In looking back, have you ever looked back at a time in your life and like when you look back, you realized how bad it was compared to here? And this guy talks on stage, and I brought my mom to this meeting. I wanted to get my mom into real estate investing because she didn't have money set up for retirement yet. And I'm like, this guy's talking to me. Have you ever had a moment where you're like, this speaker is talking to me right now? I'm like, this guy's talking to me. And he sold the courses, 1,500 bucks. And I never spent money like that before. I'd never spent more than 150 probably on a seminar. And I was like, I got to do this. And I stood up to buy his course. And my mom, who was next to me, grabs my jacket and she sits me down and she goes, you're not going to buy it, are you? Now, my mom wasn't trying to hurt me, was she? What was my mom trying to do? She's trying to keep me safe. And what non-entrepreneurs think is the way to stay safe is by saying no. Don't raise your hand if they're in the room with you, but anybody have someone like that in their life before you came to Woodsnake? Maybe they were like, don't buy anything. You guys, as entrepreneurs, what I now know is we have to say yes and take a step. We have to say yes and move forward. And here's where I share the story. I was hurting. I kept going through breakup after breakup after breakup. I didn't have healthy friendships. I didn't have healthy habits. I don't know that I'd be around today if I hadn't had my life changed. And that speaker on stage was so good and spoke so well and sold from stage so well that in spite of all that, in spite of never having spent 150 bucks, in spite of my mom literally grabbing my jacket and sitting me down, I got up and I went to the back table. And y'all, I was so nervous as I handed over that credit card and I paid the $1,500. And when I went to a seminar, my life changed forever. The most important thing that happened at that seminar is I discovered personal growth. And what I learned was when you change the inside, everything outside changes. And I started going to seminar after seminar after seminar after seminar. Any other seminar junkies in here? But seminar junkies aren't bad when you apply it. When you don't apply it is when it's a waste. So I'm going to all these seminars. In the middle of all these seminars, my mom calls me up and she says, haven't you been to enough seminars? Sherry's laughing. Anybody got someone like this in their life? Their arms are crossed and they're tapping their foot. They're looking at you and they're going, hey, when's this coaching thing going to pay off? Hey, when you going to start making money? Hey, maybe you should just give it up and just get a job. Look, if that's you and they're in the room with you, don't raise your hand. Just blink twice. We'll send help. So that was me. But here's something I learned. One of the seminars I went to, I learned this phrase, and I want you to write this down because it's a critical phrase for you to know for yourself, and it's critical for you to share with your prospects to give them permission to spend more money. And here's the phrase I learned. If you empty your pockets into your mind will always fill your pockets. If you empty your pockets into your mind will always fill your pockets. And so I said this to my mom. I said, Mom, I'm on the right path. I know what I'm doing. I have to keep going. This is the path. So I kept going. Y'all, check this out. The first seminar I ever took, within 2 years, I launched my own seminar company. I increased my income by 1,000%. I went from 40,000 a year to 400,000 a year in 1 year. I bought a place my mom could live for free, and I took my mom on the first class vacation of her life. Actually, I have a picture of it. We were in Mexico where you drive up and they meet you with drinks. And if you look at the date, that's 2005. I've been doing this for a while. Here's the critical thing though. Now my mom has a new question. Her new question is, "Hey Jase, when's your next seminar?" So when you apply what you're learning, your family and friends will encourage you to be even more of a seminar junkie because you're learning. Is this cool or is this cool? So Jody put in the chat, not a coach. She has 2 entrepreneurial jobs. I'm a trial technician. Cool. And then she has a business where I teach people how to grow, use, and preserve their food. I'd call that a coach. If you're helping people grow, use, and if you're helping people learn something, you're an information marketer, which is a coach. And she has a YouTube channel. Y'all, whatever you have, coaching programs are the most profitable things out there because you're giving information and you're training, and it's very low cost, super high margins. So I just entered my 22nd year of events, coaching, and speaking, and I wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be here if not for a speaker. And I mean this 2 ways. One, a speaker changed my life. The second way I mean this is Kathleen is using speaking to grow her business. We literally wouldn't be here if Kathleen wasn't using speaking at an event like this. Speaking is how all the top money earners do it. Even Apple computers, guys, when Apple launches a new phone, they have a speaking event. They're a tech company, and yet they still have someone speak to grow the business. So the reason I'm here today is a speaker at an event changed my life, and I want to pass it on. It's your turn and your time to take your place among the people who make a difference for others and make a whole lot of money doing it. Is that cool or is that cool, yo? And can I share one personal thing that I love about speaking? My last event before COVID, I did a 3-day event, and there was this awesome woman in the audience. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, me being on stage definitely helped get her. And so I met my wife Betsy, and we fell in love, and we got married in 2021. And people say, Jase, are you really good at speaking and sales? And I say, if you look at Betsy and then you look at me, you could tell I'm really good at speaking and sales. And we had our baby in May. So I got my baby out of speaking and sales. He's 7 months old now. He's so ready to walk. He's so ready to walk. Thanks for the comments. I love you guys. So an update on events. We just did an event at one of our advanced trainings. We had 20 people in the room. Now I want to be clear. All these people had already paid $20,000 to be in a coaching program. So they already paid $20,000 to be there. With 20 attendees, we did $410,000 in sales. Who could handle doing an event, doing $400,000 in sales with 20 people? Now, why would they do that? Because we delivered massive, massive, massive value. And I'm going to unpack for you right now what needs to be in your presentation in order for you to do that kind of money and make that kind of impact. But it wasn't always this way, guys. I went through the valley. I went through a really tough time so you don't have to. And here's what I learned. There's a formula for a profitable presentation. So when you're speaking, there's 2 levels. One is you do your hour presentation to either have people opt in for a list or set discovery calls or buy like a ticket to an event. And then after you get experience, you move to doing your own 3-day events. It starts with the hour presentation, but no matter what kind of speaking you're doing, there's 3 parts. This is the formula. The first is you have to have compelling content. The second part is dynamic delivery. And the third part is you. I'm going to unpack this in the order I discovered it, but write this down, please. CC times DD times Y. That's our formula. If you ever speak and you don't make great sales, a part of the formula was missing or you've scored very low. You speak and rocked it, you have all 3 parts working. So let me explain this, and I'm going to start with the you portion because you is the most important part of this, and it's the first part I discovered. What's in you can either stop you from making a difference, sabotage you from growing your business, stop you from taking ground, or can catapult you to success. One of the things we like to say is what's in you is expanded on stage. See you, it's CC times DD times Y. What's in you is expanded on stage. The bigger the stage, the more the expansion. The more important the stage, the more the expansion. What am I talking about? What's in you? Well, if you're not on fire, if you're nervous, it's going to be expanded. And here's the way this works. There's a book called EQ where they studied communication, and people, the sender of information, like a speaker, whatever emotional state they're in, gets adopted by the audience. Emotions are contagious. And so if you're nervous, the audience becomes nervous. And if the audience feels nervous while you're on stage, they'll feel nervous about your offer and they're not going to buy your offer. Are you tracking with me? Give me a nod if you're tracking with me. Okay, well, if you don't think they'll buy, they're not. If you'll sabotage your sales. Now, a great you, if you're on fire, they're going to feel it. If you care, they'll sense it. If you're focused on their success, they're going to want more. And so one of the things I want you guys to write down, please, say yes and take a step. This is so critical. Please write this down. Say yes and take a step. Wherever you are, please say the words out loud. Say the words, say yes. Wherever you are, say the words, say yes. Great. Now say the words, take a step. Take a step. Take a step. Take a step. Okay. Now let's say it together. Ready? Say yes and take a step. Cool. Say yes and take a step. Cool. Okay. So would anyone here like to know if you are on the right path in life for a life that's fulfilling, awesome, profitable, full of love and adventure, like the life of your dreams? Would anyone like to hear like a surefire way to know if you're on the right path? Only one person. We can, two people, we can skip it. Okay. Okay, more. Okay, are you ready? Are you sure? Are you guys ready? Massive, massive, massive fear. What? Well, by definition, everything that you want that you do not have is outside of your comfort zone or your known zone. And so in order for you to get what you don't have, you're going to have to take a massive step into being uncomfortable. And the number one tool the subconscious uses to stop you is fear. And the fear feels like, I don't think I can. I don't know what to do. I need to get ready. I have to perfect my coaching skills. I have to perfect my whatever. I don't have the money. Did I already mention that one? It comes up with a billion excuses. And what I want you to know is that if you're going to step into greatness and making a ton of money, you have to learn how to master the moment when it feels like nothing is going to work, you're all alone, and you can't do it. Everything in your heart and brain will be screaming, no, turn back. Maybe you had that moment considering Time Blazer. Maybe you're like, I want to do it. I'm so scared. You've got to master that moment or you'll be stuck forever. I hope it's okay. I mean, do you all want, well, I should have asked you guys, who wants fluff coaching that feels good but doesn't make a difference? Or who wants real coaching that changes lives? Who says fluff? Who says real coaching? Okay, we'll do this. This is the real coaching, y'all. This moment's coming. And if you don't learn how to master this moment, you're sunk. Actually, what happens is the opportunity will pass, but you'll hit this moment again, and you have to learn how to master this moment before you spiral up. And life is like a spiral up. You're going to hit these kind of moments over and over as you grow, except you're going to learn how to get through them better, faster, and easier as you go. Does this make sense? So what we do is we say yes and take a step. One more time, everybody say it. Ready? Say yes and take a step. So what do you do when you're scared? You say yes and take a step. What do you do when you have an amazing opportunity? You say yes and take a step. By the way, how often do once in a lifetime opportunities come by? Once when you miss them. To be clear, they don't disappear. Somebody else gets them. Well, what happens when you take advantage of a once in a lifetime opportunity? You get more once in a lifetime opportunities. So we got to learn to master this moment. So I was in Orlando, Florida. Remember I said I went to that seminar to change my life? I wound up working for that company and I worked my way up from carrying bags and doing back of room coaching and sales and just anything they needed. I worked my way up to becoming a speaker on their behalf. And I'd spoken in Orlando, Florida, and I used to live in Orlando. I knew everybody. It was a real small event, and I did well in sales. And frankly, we went out and we partied that night to celebrate. And the next day, Saturday, I fly back to Vegas and I'm having lunch with my mentor, and I'm a little hungover. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. And my mentor says, "You know, you did pretty good last night. I'm supposed to speak to 500 people tonight on a real stage. I'm going to tell them I'm going to LA for work. We're going to have you fill in and see how you do on a real stage." So what'd I say? Now I want to be really clear. Sometimes that yes sounds like this. Yes. So and then it's take a step. What's my next step? I'm hungover. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Back then I used to wear a suit. My next step's to go to my apartment and take a shower. My next step's to put on a suit. And I'm sharing this because sometimes you won't know what to do. You just do the next thing you can. And then the next door will open. You say yes, you take the next step, the next door will open. Then I show up to the event. And I introduce myself to the guy who's hosted. It's a guy named Ron the Grand. Does anyone here know Ron? Ron is not a touchy-feely guy. He's a lot taller than me, and I was so nervous. I'm like, "Ron, I know you wanted my mentor here, and I'm going to do my best, and I hope this opens the door for us to work together." And Ron says, "There's 500 people. They each paid $3,000 to be here. They're expecting your mentor as the headliner. There could be some resistance in the room. Good luck." Thanks, Ron. So how would you all be feeling? Like it's your big break, right? And the host says there could be resistance in the room. Telling you, my fear was coming up big time. So I go to the bathroom and I had learned to do 5 deep breathing exercises. And I'm sitting in one of the stalls. I'm not going to the bathroom, I'm just breathing. And let's take a nose breath. Ready? By the way, the nose is so important for breathing. So I'm doing these 5 breaths and I'm supposed to do them like that, but they're really coming out like. And this guy comes in and this guy goes, "Hey, Dave, is Dave here?" And I think of that old Cheech and Chong joke. I'm like, "Dave's not here." And then the guy goes, "Did you hear the headliner's not here tonight?" To this day, I've never seen this guy's face. And I go, "I heard that. What do you think about it?" And the guy goes, "I think it sucks." How would you have felt in that moment? It's your big break, and literally someone just came in and said it sucks that you're there. I want y'all to know this. This is the moment. And it's coming. It's coming for you. You're either going to play small and shrink away, or if you step up, this moment's coming. And it will feel like everything's against you and nobody wants you there and you could never win. And you're either going to be trained and ready for this moment and you're going to beat the moment, or the moment's going to beat you. So I said to this guy, I hear this guy, Jase is here. What do you think about it? And to his credit, the guy says, "I don't know. I'll tell you later." So he leaves the bathroom and now I'm in this stall. And I really thought about backing out. Except I knew if I could succeed on this stage, my speaking career could be made. This was like a big stage, big promoter. He knew everybody. If I could succeed, my mentor would see that I could do this. Like everything's on the line. And 3 things got me through this moment. I would write them down if I were you. One, I have a faith in God, I have a higher power. And I knew that God would love me no matter what. I knew the worst thing I could do would be to back out. And if I backed out, I'd be backing out on my dreams. 2, the power of improv. I'm going to share that with you in a moment. But here's the thing I realized later as I looked back. I had been learning to feel fear and move through it. Remember I told you I bought a $1,500 course and how scared I was, but that speaker was so good. I moved through my fear and I went to the back table. So in spite of my fear, in spite of my mom literally sitting me down and saying, "You're not going to buy it, are you?" I moved through my fear and I bought that course. And when I went to that course, we ate fire and we broke boards. And I learned how to feel fear and say yes. And then I signed up for a $4,500 course. And at that course, we walked across a pit of broken glass. So I got to feel that fear and do it. And at the $4,500 course, I bought a $10,000 package. And this was back in 2002 money. And so at the $10,000 event, we did ropes courses where we had to climb up a 60-foot pole and jump off. So I had all these times I was shaking in my boots, but I took action in the face of my fear. So that when it mattered, when it was on the line, I could say what? Say it. Say yes and take a step. And we got to get the feet moving. So I said yes. I took a step. Boom. I left the bathroom. What's my next step? Leave the bath. I left the stall, then I leave the bathroom. My next step was to get on stage. And I'll never forget, y'all, when I got on stage, there was a lot of resistance in the room. There was a dude sitting over here, and he's sitting back like this. He's like, impress me, buddy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I win this crowd over? If you're going to speak, you've got to learn improv. Improv is critical. In a presentation, there's three parts. It's your material, you, and the audience. Your material, you, and the audience. And the better the interplay, the better your presentation. Improv, whatever happens, you got to make it perfect. It's the power of comedy. And so I had studied improv. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute because I wanted to be a better presenter. And so in improv, I'm like, how can I improv this? How can I deal with what my partner gave me and make it better? So this guy comes in, it sucks, I'm here. So I'm like, I'm just going to tell the audience what happened in the bathroom. So I told the audience how this dude came in and said it sucked I was here. And I'll never forget, I see this guy go from this to, he starts laughing and he starts cheering for me. And the whole audience gets on my side. And I did a hypnosis show that night. The next morning I spoke, and in 75 minutes, I did $96,000 in sales. And I'm talking to these three attendees after, and Ron steps between me and the attendee. He says, you need to talk to my sister, Cam. I said, Ron, I hope this opens the door for us to work together in the future. He says, you're in. You don't know how far you're in. I said, can I have a hug? Sparks shot out of his head, and he goes, yes. And that stage, because I managed to say yes and take a step, because I did what, everybody? Say yes and take a step. That one thing allowed me to get on all of Ron's Millionaire Maker Bootcamp stages. And then 6 months later, I launched my own company. So you've got everybody one more time. Let's say it again. We got to what? Say yes and take a step. So that's the you portion, y'all. Keep working on your personal growth. Keep working on yourself. Keep working on shifting what's inside of you. It is uber critical to your success as a speaker. The next part of the formula is dynamic delivery. So I discovered dynamic delivery when I was working as a roadie for that first mentor that I worked for. So what's the difference between bad sales and huge sales? Between being blacklisted, that means no one has you, invited back, snooze fest, successful events, people leaving, standing ovations, you struggling, or your multiple six figures. Well, here's how I discovered this. I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I was watching these two speakers at an event. And I encourage you, whenever you're speaking, watch as much of the event as you can. And the first speaker had amazing cutting edge brain science. It's now 2003. And my mentor, frankly, his content was good. It was not as good as the first guy, but the first guy was boring. He just talked about what he did. Like many coaches today, here's straight coaching for y'all. If people ask, what do you do? And you say, I'm a transformational coach. I'm an integrity coach. I'm a blank coach. You're not making sales. People who talk that way are process focused, not outcome focused. When we sell, we need to be outcome focused. You might want to write this down. It's where they get, not what they get. It's where they get, not what they get. So we need to be outcome focused. This guy was just talking about, I remember thinking it's a crime. He has such good content, nobody's listening. My mentor, on the other hand, he's got the audience laughing and crying. The first guy, people are leaving. My mentor gets a standing ovation. The first guy did $3,000 in sales. My mentor did $375,000 in sales. Same audience. What would you rather have, 3,000 or 375,000? I remember leaving there thinking, if I want to stick around, I better be funny. Stories and entertainment are the key difference between bombing and huge sales. So there's a delivery and entertainment formula that we created. It's the number of laughs you get times the number of feels when people are inspired or they have a tear in the eye, a lump in the throat, a thump in the chest, equals the number of impacts you make. Laughs times feels equals the number of lives you change, and laughs times feels equals the number of sales that you make. If you don't make many sales, or you don't get many opt-ins, you don't get many discovery call booked, or you don't sell a lot, Look back. How many times did they laugh? How many times did they cry? How many times were they inspired? Um, I went to a show, I won't name the name recently. It was a performing dance troupe, and they were technically brilliant, but I only kind of laughed once and I wasn't moved at all. It was $125 a person for this ticket. I'll never go again. They didn't touch me. The measure is, did you touch the heart? So in delivery, you've got to connect with your audience, open the emotions with comedy and storytelling. You have to know improv techniques, voice work, stage mechanics, subfluence influence techniques. If you don't know these, it's time to learn them. And you've got to entertain. Here, let's just make it short. Here's how I could put it. Speaking is putting on a show, and they even made a movie about it. Do you all remember the movie The World's Greatest Showman? Remember that? They have never made a movie called The World's Greatest Content Man. It's about putting on a show. It's about entertaining. And you might be like, oh, if you don't know how to entertain on purpose, you're sunk. So I went and searched for the answer. How do I do this? The holy grail of speaking, y'all, is being funny, but on purpose. Some of y'all are funny, but not on purpose. So I lived in Vegas at the time, and I started going to all the shows I could, and I would take notes and I would watch what they did and how they moved a crowd, how they got us laughing and crying. I studied masters for a year. And I even became a performer, not because I wanted to be a performer, because I wanted to be a more effective speaker at selling from stage. I became a comedy hypnotist. That's me right there, hypnotizing a big group at a conference. And I performed around the world. And here's what I learned. Oh, by the way, before I go on, anybody here worried about AI replacing them? All these coaches are talking about AI, AI. AI is not funny, and AI can't touch the heart, and AI doesn't give speeches. If you know how to perform, you will never be replaced. So here's why funny makes money. All impacts, all purchases, all life decisions are based on emotion and then backed up with logic. You can't logic people into big things. You've got to touch their heart for them to use it. But it's not just funny, it's touching their heart, because when you move their heart, you move their life. People will back up a buying decision with logic. It starts in the heart, though. So when you use stories in entertainment, you get their attention, get them to like you, keep them riveted to you, get them to spend more money with you, create wow moments in your presentation, and get invited back over and over and over again. And isn't that what we all want? To get invited back, to have our business grow, to be the star? Yeah. So this is Carson Cooper. Carson learned the art of storytelling, came to our events. He did a challenge, and normally they do about $60,000 in a challenge. They doubled it to 120,000 just by learning the art of storytelling. Is it time you all learned how to be a little more entertaining? Yep. So the third part of the formula is compelling content. So we have we have dynamic delivery, we have compelling content. Here's how I learned compelling content. Compelling content is a script that moves people to say yes. So the first time selling my own things, I did $98,000 in sales. That's not bad, is it? But other times I made 0 sales. That's not great. That doesn't mean I broke even. I lost money because I had to pay for travel, lodging, expenses. I used to print up workbooks and sell them. But here's what's worse than that: word spreads. So back then, the business model was, if you spoke on someone's stage, you'd sell a package. I sold a $2,500 package back then, and I was on a guy named Marco's stage. And whatever I sold, 98,000 bucks, Marco made 49,000 and I made 49,000. We split it. It's called a 50-50 split. Does that make sense so far? Cool. So here's what happens though if you bomb. Even today in the world of sponsorships, a lot of times you're going to pay a sponsorship fee, a marketing fee to speak. There are a lot of free stages also. No matter what the stage, if you bomb and the audience doesn't like you, then it makes the promoter look bad. And promoters hang out with promoters, right, Linda? And the promoters are going to tell their promoter buddies, never have so-and-so on your stage. And so if you bomb, it can actually cost you stages and you won't be able to get on stage. But that's not what's worse. I had no idea what I was doing wrong when I bombed, nor what I was doing right when I rocked it out. Like, I just hoped if I got on stage, it would be good enough. And I had some good days, but luckily the good days carried me through the bad days. But that wasn't the worst part. This was the worst part. I spoke at an event and I bombed. I sold nothing. And the promoter sent his assistant to take me to dinner. And I'm thinking maybe he's going to give me a pep talk. and the assistant's being awkward all dinner. And finally the check comes and the assistant, and by the way, this is a true story. And as far as I know, all my stories are true. So the assistant takes the check and he leans in and says, "We'd like to invite you not to come back." Oh, I didn't know what I was doing wrong. Most people just get on stage and they wing it. And that's what I was doing. And that's why I got wing it results. I remember thinking that was the world's worst pep talk. Well, the pain of that moment combined with sometime soon after that, the recession hit and I suddenly had a lot of time off. And I started binge watching all these TED Talks. And I got this God nudge. Y'all ever get a God nudge? And it says, figure out what you're doing wrong when you bomb and what are you doing right when you rock. And at the time I was writing a home study course on one-to-one sales. This is it right here. It was like this big, thick course on sales. So I was immersed in learning personality types and language patterns and opening techniques and closing techniques and how to find out what's in people's heart. And then I'm binging these TED Talks and learning about how we have this invisible neural network that connects us and how social media connects us and how to use group dynamics to move groups of people. And here's what I learned. If you want to speak and have a crowd say yes to your offer, there's a series of psychological switches that you have to get on in your audience in the right order. So it's kind of like if I want to call Linda on the phone, I have to have all 10 of Linda's digits. If I'm missing just one digit, will I reach Linda? No. What if I have all 10, but I get 2 out of order? Will they reach Linda? So I have to have all 10 in the right order. In speaking, it's more like 27 switches in the right order. So I create this template, and the template doesn't say what words to say. It tells you what conversations to happen in the right order so that you connect with people, you open people up, they get connected to your message, and they say yes at the end. And I'm like, let me try this out. And I meet this guy named Mike Crow, and Mike says, hey, I'm going to give you a tryout. I'll put you in front of my top 75 people, but you got to pay your own travel, your own lodging, no sales. If they like you, I'll put you on my big event in February. How many of you would do that? Pay your own travel, own lodging for a tryout for a huge payday later? I hope all of you. No risk, no goodies, big risk, big goodies. So Mike sends me a contract. On the bottom of the contract, all caps, it says no sales. I'm like, I got it, Mike. Mike introduces me. You know how like promoters welcome you on stage at an in-person event? This was all pre-COVID. And Mike leans over to me as he's leaving the stage and he goes, remember, no sales. I'm like, I got it. So I used the template. I had the series of conversations in the right order. And then I had dynamic delivery. They're laughing, they're crying. My heart was in the right place. And at the end, I got the standing ovation. And Mike walks over to me and he goes, let's sell your stuff. I'm like, I thought I was supposed to sell. And he goes, you rocked it. Let's sell your stuff. I'm like, okay. So you guys, I I don't even know how we took orders that day. Like I didn't bring order forms, I didn't bring product, I didn't bring anything. All I know is this, using the system, I did 25% of my previous year's income that day. What would it do for you if you could speak once and do 25% of your previous year's income? So then Mike says, hey, let's sit down and chat. And he leans in, he looks at me and he says the exact same words. Mike leans in, he goes, I'd like to invite you. And I'm like, I thought I did good. And he goes, I want to invite you to the big stage. And I want to invite you to speak to my group 4 times a year. You can sell your stuff and I'll pay you a monthly retainer to do it. Do you guys get that? I went from invited not to come back to invited to speak, and he paid me to sell my stuff. I don't think you guys are smiling or nodding as big a deal as that is. Do you guys get that? What if someone paid you to sell your stuff? So he puts me on the big stage, and on the big stage, this was me on his big stage. And on the big stage, I did 50% of my previous year's income. That means 2 presentations using the system. I did 75% of my previous year's income. More importantly, I got invited back 6 more years. I got 14 more stages out of that first presentation. So here's what's important to you. I'm not special. The system is special. When you use a system for speaking, you're going to make a lot more sales. And I think you're just 1 stage away from the life and business you want. Speaking is the access to the success. Now, here's the hard truth. You suck or you're great. This is Shiraz. Before we worked together, he said people would clap. They'd say my presentation was great, but I make no sales. So we started working together. Stink, by the way, suck means lots of applause, no sales. Great means they pay you a lot of money. Shiraz, he says, my talks are so on point. I make sales from stage. I have people join out of the blue because they've seen a recording. He's now so busy, he doesn't even have to promote. People just call him to speak. Before we worked together, he did about $100,000. His first year after working together, 200,000. Then he went to $1 million. And this last year, I need a new update from him. He was 500% over 2023. Is that cool or is that cool? So there's stages of a presentation. I have really limited time. So let me give you this real quick. I want to teach you a little bit about the template. It's kind of deep. There's the beginning, the middle, and the end. Do you guys get that? No, I'm just kidding. It's the intro, the body, and the call to action. In the intro, your audience is asking, do I like the speaker? Does this matter? What qualifies them to be here? Does the speaker care about me? So we have 5 goals when we hit the stage. I call it RIATI: rapport, interest, authority, train, and inspire. These are the 5 things you have to do within the first 2 minutes or you're done. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to go through the rest, but this is just the beginning. And remember how I told you got 14 stages? This was one of the stages. The guy on the right flew me to Houston, paid my speaker's fee, paid me a travel, paid my lodging, and I got to sell my stuff. And I'm hanging out with him, and he says, did I ever tell you what I said to my person, Troy, his GM on the left, the first time I saw you speak? I said, no idea what you said to him the first time you saw me speak. He says, 10 minutes in your presentation, I looked up at you, and I said, I don't know what this guy's selling, but whatever it is, we're buying. How many of you would like it if 10 minutes in your presentation, people wanted to buy from you? It's possible when you do it right. Now, here's Natalie. She's another client. First year, she doubled her income. Second year, she doubled her income. Third year, she tripled her income. I tell you, Natalie, because I want to tell you this. When COVID happened, and people ask me, does this stuff work on Zoom? I've talked about live events. Does it work on Zoom? Well, when COVID happened, I shut down my business because there were no stages to speak on, and everything back then was in person. So Natalie calls me up. She says, Jase, I was just a guest at a virtual event. I did 7,000 in coaching sales and they paid in full in 4 days. I'm like, holy crap. If my client does that, what can I do? So I'm like, let me get on a Zoom. I got on a Zoom speech. There were 48 people in the room. Oh my gosh, there's exactly 48 people on this one. There were 48 people in the room. 19 signed up for a sales call. I did 8 sales, $38,000 in sales from one speech. I'm like, Zoom is awesome. So then I started doing virtual conferences. Y'all, anyone got hit by COVID? I'm so sorry. For us in the world of speaking, COVID made speaking so much more easy and profitable because you can be on so many stages now without having to travel. Your business can escalate really fast. So with an average of 50 people in the attendance, 28,000, 50, 64,000, 40,000, 32, 11,000, 50,000, that's 6 speeches, $228,000 in sales. We averaged about $38,000 per speech. Is that cool or is that cool? And then I'm like, let me do a virtual event, 3-day events, 278, 230, 391, 186, 670,000, 5 events, 1.7 million in sales. By the way, I think I have to do an FTC disclosure. We can't guarantee you the same results. And I can guarantee you better training than I got because you're going to get training learning from my mistakes and hardships. 351,000. This is how you really make your millions. You've got to learn to do your 1 hour, then you do a 3-day. So I want to ask you guys, are you ready? You know, you drop a pebble in a pond and that ripple goes out and that ripple's the difference you make in the world. Are you ready to be part of that? Are you ready to change the world? Are you ready to grow? Who's ready to grow their business? Give me a big wave if that's you. And you've been such a great audience. I see some double waves. Awesome. Awesome. So I want to know, is it your time? Is it your time for huge revenue? Is it your time to be confident? Is it your time for sales? Is it your time for funds? Is it your time for fun? Are you ready to quit stressing and actually make an impact, get known, have fun, and make a difference? Is it your time to hang out and be the best you and hang out with other thought leaders? Well, this is you. I've got something amazing for you guys. Please write this down. We're doing a virtual event, a 3-day event on Zoom, February 26th through 28th. It's called Speak to Millions. Please write down this date, February 26th through 28th. We'll go 9 to 7 Mountain each day. It's full days. It's a ton of content. It's going to be all on Zoom. So there's 3 days of 7-figure strategies. So it's how to reach millions of dollars in your business and how to reach millions of people. You get a digital workbook, you get an event guide, you hear from me and other speakers. The value is thousands. General admission's $197. Typically, I would sell an event like this for $1,000. You guys are going to get it for $197. And we have VIP. If you're interested in VIP, you get VIP only training, VIP only networking. You're going to get a speaker kit. I'll show you what's in the speaker kit in a moment. You get an event prep series, some recordings from other events. You get a pre-event live Q&A and a month in the speaker's green room. What's the speaker's green room? Well, I'm glad you asked. Before I show you the speaker's green room, let me show you what's in the speaker's kit. First, it's a box because all the pros use cardboard boxes to prop up their computer. I literally have one under my computer. Well, look, it says this is my official Zoom stand. Isn't that awesome? Inside is the prayer I say every time I speak. God, may their life be better forever because I was here, whether they buy from me or not. You're also going to get a remote. It's the exact remote. I had these custom made. I don't know if you can see the logo on there. And I'm going to explain during the event why we use this one. Also, if you've seen me drinking out of this cup, you get this exact, well, not this exact cup because this is mine. You get one just like it. It even comes with a straw and a straw cleaner. Do you guys really need a calculator with oversized buttons and crappy swag? You don't need that. One of the things we do in our business, we only give you what you need. This is what you need to get going. We're going to put some stickers and stuff in there as well. You need a great cup and you need the right remote, and then you can rock it out with a computer. So that's what's in the welcome kit. Let me show you what else is in the green room. In the green room, you get a Q&A call monthly. You get speaker strategies. And our next Q&A is coming up this week. I think it's tomorrow. You get one ticket to the mic drop. It's a live recorded speak off with you and other speakers. Gets you practice and exposure. You get event replays. The only way to get event replays is to be in the green room, and you have to be a current member. You get green room conversations with speakers. You get the inside track to get gigs. As I hear about great gigs, I drop them in the green room for you guys first before anybody else. And you get 70% off VIP at the next event. So that starts now. So instead of VIP being $497, it's only $149. So the green room, you get a free month, and then it's $97 a month. Now this is critical. Hear this. I'm making sure now we're recording this, right, Linda? It's $97 a month. You could cancel anytime. If you don't cancel, it's $97 a month. You get the monthly calls, you get the inside track on the gigs, you get the event replays. You have to be active in the green room. Does this make sense to you guys? So VIP is cheaper because there's a continuity part attached to it. So here's what we got. General admission's $197, VIP is $149. We're not going to do that. Here's what we're going to do today, but let me just give you one more testimonial first. These two ladies run Mint CRO. They run a digital marketing agency. And 24 months from never doing an event, they did $2.3 million in sales with my coaching. They actually are up closer to 5 million. It's been about 3 years and they're at 5 million now. So is it worth 197 or 149? Yes. But that's not what you guys are going to pay. Because you're here at Woodsnake, you get $100 off. You get to use code Woodsnake. So here's what you guys do. Go to speaktomillionsevent.com and use the code Woodsnake and you get $100 off. That means general admission is only $97 and VIP is only $49. When you go VIP, we're going to send you the welcome kit. You get into the speaker's green room. You get the Q&A. You get the questions. So click the link she just put in the chat. It's okay if you open another phone. It's okay if you open another window. It's not rude at all. Get registered right now. This really is a special just for you because you're here. So go to speaktomillionsevent.com, Woodsnake. So that means general admission will be 97, VIP is 49, and then $97 a month after that. So go to Speak to Millions event, Woodsnake. This is Cheryl Stout. She's a spiritual coach. She said last year I did about 180,000. Since your event 5 months ago, I did 160,000. I should do 500, maybe $600,000 this year. And I asked her what's different. She said speaking's become easy and fun. I don't second guess myself, and I have a level of confidence I didn't have before. So let me click the link and show you all what it looks like to walk through this. So when you click the link in the chat, it says, yes, I'll choose my ticket option now. And you just pick one of these, the either VIP or general admission, whichever one you choose. Right here where it says coupon code, put in Woodsnake and click apply. And it will make the price $49 for VIP. If you choose to go general admission, put Woodsnake it will make the price 97. If it was me, I would go VIP. I always go VIP. Almost always. When it's this good of an offer, I always do. So just you put in your name, your email, your phone number, put in Wood Snake, and put in your credit card, click reserve my ticket, and you are in. Whoever's in, Susan's in already. Linda's going VIP. Awesome, you guys. Put that in there. Whatever it is, put that in. Let's get you in. So a couple more people I'll share with. This is Carson. Carson came through our programs, got his confidence up, created a $100,000 program, went from 600,000 was his best event to 1.1 million. And then this is Jen. She's an insurance agent. She says, I'm more confident. I did a presentation for 25 people. In the past, it would have been 10 to 12,000. This time I did 24,000. She sells really cheap insurance policies. She did one presentation with 60,000 bucks. And this is Eyelet Schwell. She's a doula. She says, I pitch my program the way Jay says. In 1 week of beginning to work with Jase, I gave a presentation that earned me over 4,000 bucks. And I'm teaching these women something's going to change so many lives. What could be better than that? Sherry's in for VIP. Awesome. Great. So right now, you guys, go to speaktomillionsevent.com. This is your time. This is your place. Go to speaktomillionsevent.com and get your ticket, and make sure you use the code WOODSNAKE. Yes, Yen is in. Awesome. Yeah, Susan's in before she's going to the bathroom. Awesome. Way to set your priorities, Susan. I'm very proud of you. So, hey, let me hear in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how'd I do? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome, 1 being sucked, how'd I do? And if it was a 10, awesome. If it wasn't a 10, what would have made it a 10? Let me know what would have made it a 10. And if you're coming, put a yes in the chat. I want to know who else is joining. I'm hoping if there's 47 people on here, there ought to be at least 10 to 15 people. My goal is 15 people from this group are going to join us at the event. Yeah, so go to speaktomillionsevent.com, use code WOODSMAKE. This really is a right now special. Cheryl just sold the highest paying packages ever. So go to Speak to Millions event, use WOODSNAKE, and ignore that one. Last one I'll show you is Ken Sherman. Ken does book publishing. He said, thanks for giving me the confidence and organization. It's what I needed. His first time selling from stage, he had 11 people in the room. He did $32,000 in sales with 11 people. Is that cool or is that cool? Awesome, you guys. It has been great to be here. So I think I'm out of time. If not, I'm happy to answer questions. One more screen share, you guys. Right now, go to Speak to Millions event and put right down here, Wood Snake, whichever one you choose, the VIP or the general admission. I would go VIP, put Wood Snake in, and click apply, and you are in. You are good to go. And we will see you February 26th through 28th. Those of you that go VIP, you'll automatically get emails about the green room. Also, I didn't even tell you this. You get some other trainings we did that are awesome in the green room with your membership. You get a ton of stuff. You get access to a private library. So welcome to the family. It is so good to have you. Kathleen, thank you so much for having me on your stage. You were awesome. I loved listening in today. It was super great. And for all of you, whatever your measures are, today's your time to buy this.
Thank you so much, Jase. I tell you what, I'm in. I'm learning right along everyone else here. To think that I'm someone that's a feng shui master and you wouldn't think that this would be something that would be stage worthy, but it really is. And to have the impact that I know that I could increase that value. I'm very excited to work with you. So we'll see you in the VIP room.
I can't wait. Hey, and for everyone who's going VIP, this Wednesday is a speaker's green room Q&A. So you could bring literally anything on sales, putting your coaching program together, speaking, getting on stages, no holds barred, like behind the scenes. We go a full hour Q&A. Usually there's like 9 or 10 people. So I can't wait to have you guys in there. Go VIP.
What time is that on Wednesday?
It is 1 Mountain.
1 Mountain, because I have 1 Eastern where we're starting our onboarding. So these are recorded for the people who have already signed up, correct? That they can get some support from these calls if they missed that first one.
Yeah, for sure. How long's your onboarding call?
It's quite of a long one. It's going to be at least 2 hours that day. So we're in Eastern time though, is when mine is at. So it might just be just
I
get on
think you
one,
know
hop
that
on the
pop
other.
over. So
Say that
yes, they are recorded. For those of you who join VIP, they're recorded. All the Q&A is recorded. And you can actually submit questions and I'll answer them and you can watch the recording to get your answer. Also, um, so we will be meeting at 3 Eastern. So if you guys finish in 2 hours, pop over. If you don't, just watch the replay.
Awesome, awesome. Wonderful. Well, it was very inspiring. And you certainly, I mean, obviously everyone, I hope that you did write down, as Jason said, say yes and take a step. This is about action, you guys. We've talked about this all weekend long, that we really don't have a lot of time to capitalize on this great energy that's happening. There's so many opportunities. So we're so happy that you came here today with your inspiring words. We love your causes that you're doing, and we have a lot of people that are, not a lot, all of my attendees are heart-based business owners, and so this was a perfect. And I'm so happy that Nguyen stayed on. Because she's in Madrid, poor thing, and she's been up all evening watching us from the very beginning. And but it was just such a perfect serendipitous. I don't know if you heard all of that, but we discovered when we put our chart up, my team, not present team, had calculated a chart wrong. And fine, we just recalculated it, but we found out that she's really in the wrong industry. And it was like, well, what about speaking? Ta-da, and then chose the teacher, right? So when the student is ready, the teacher Jase is there. So thanks so much. We really appreciate your time. Get some rest from your jet lag and reconnect with your family. Thanks so much with all my heart that you spent time with us today. It was amazing. Thank
Thanks.
you.
A big wish from me to all of you from the heart. You're in the right place. Y'all with Kathleen, you're in a great place. And I hope you work with both of us. It's just gonna be great. Love you guys.